I'm glad to see you here today. So if you're here live, say hi. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay below so we know you were here. So today I'm going to talk about this is how you leave a legacy. Yesterday we talked about Jim Rohn. He's my favorite personal development author or person. And this is from him as well. So this is Jim Rohn's ideas of how to leave a legacy. I mean, he was a philosopher. He left an indelible legacy of time-proven principles and wisdom. I mean, everything, there's not a single thing that I've heard from him that hasn't made a huge impact on my life. And he says, quote, "You know me, I'm a philosopher. I love principles. Yes, actions are great, and I talk about them regularly, but the important stuff is what lies underneath the principles." So that's, I think, where we're going to start. And so he has principles that he says that we must commit to in order to leave the legacy we desire. So number one, life is best lived in service to others. So that doesn't mean that we don't strive to be the best for ourselves, but it does mean that in all things we serve other people, including our family, coworkers, and friends. And I couldn't agree more, actually. The more that we give, the more that comes back to us, right? Number two, he says, consider others' interests as important as your own. That's pretty profound, huh? Much of the world suffers simply because other people consider their own interests. People are looking out for number one, but the way to leave a legacy is also to look out for others. This has kind of been something that I've believed all my life. I mean, because not to dwell in there, but I had a rough childhood. I didn't go to the right church. I was picked on. And so I have always I've always been aware of others' interests and others' feelings. That's something that's always played a big part in my life. And so he is spot on with that. That much of the world suffers because many people consider their own interests. We're seeing a lot of that in the world today. So pretty profound. Number three, love your neighbor even if you don't like him. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? So he says it's interesting that Jesus told us to love others, but he never told us to like them. Liking people has to do with emotions. Loving people has to do with actions. And what you'll find is when you love them and do good by them, you'll more often than not begin to like them. And you know what? I found that true in my life. I recently, when my mother passed, my sister's boyfriend, I mean, it's not that I didn't like him. I was just really uncomfortable around him. There's a lot behind that, but I just wasn't uncomfortable around him. And I never knew what to expect. And I guess I kind of didn't, I was nervous about if he was there. I didn't really want to go there. And when my mom was passing, we spent a lot of time together, all of us. And you know what? He turned out to be a pretty decent guy. Once I got to know him, he turned out to be a pretty decent guy. So you know what? Jim Rohn's spot on. Love your neighbor, even if you don't like him. So show respect. Give them a chance. Get to know them, because you might find out you like them. It's actually pretty true. Number four, maintain integrity at all costs. So there's very few things that you can take to the grave with you. The number one thing is your reputation and your good name. So when people remember you, you want them to think, she was the most honest person I knew. What integrity. There's always going to be temptations to cut corners or break your integrity, but don't do it. Do what's right all the time, no matter the cost. And if you're always doing what's right and you do the right thing, you never have to go back and worry about covering for yourself or remembering lies or anything. I mean, if you just do the right thing, come clean. If you made a mistake, if you didn't do it right, or if you did something bad, come clean about it, but maintain integrity. That is crucial. Okay, so number five, you must risk in order to gain. So in just about every area of your life, you must risk in order to gain the reward. In love, you have to risk rejection in order to ask that person out the first time. In investing, you have to place your capital at risk in the market in order to receive the prize of growing your bank account. And when we risk, we gain. And when we gain, we have more to leave for others. So that's a good idea. I mean, take risks, be willing to get out there. And the more that you're willing to risk, the more that you have the opportunity to gain, and the more you'll leave for others. Number six, you reap what you sow. In fact, you always reap more than you sow. You plant a seed and you reap a bushel. You give what you give, you get. What you put into the ground then grows out of the ground. If you give love, you will receive love. If you give time, you'll gain time. It's one of the truest laws of the universe. Decide what you want out of life and then begin to sow it. Oh, how profound is that? I've learned that over the last years, last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, 20 years, since I've been in my Avon business especially. But 100% of the universe gives back what you put out there. And it comes back to you, and it's energy, So if you're putting out good energy, then good energy is going to come back. If you're putting out fear and you're being timid and you don't want to put yourself out there, then it's not going to come back to you. And he says it really good. I like the way he says that, You give what you get. What you put in the ground then grows out of the ground. If you give love, you'll receive love. If you give time, you'll gain time. It's one of the truest laws of the universe. Couldn't agree more. Number 7, hard work is never a waste. No one will say, it's too bad he was such a good hard worker. But if you aren't, they will surely say, it's too bad he was so lazy. He could have been so much more. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Hard work will leave a grand legacy. Give it your all on your trip around the earth. You'll do a lot of good and you'll leave a terrific legacy. Yeah, I don't know, too bad he was such a good hard worker. Yeah, you don't usually hear that, right? But you do hear he was lazy. Too bad he didn't get off his butt. Yeah. Number 8, don't give up when you fail. So imagine what legacies would have existed if someone would never have existed if someone had given up. There's so many stories, story after story after story of people who persisted and look at what they've achieved. So now he says, how many thriving businesses would have been shut down if they would have quit at their first failure? Everyone fails. It's a fact of life. I'm going to say that again because you know what? I know there's a lot of people out there. I know that it could be you even, that is afraid to fail. But you know what? Everyone fails. I fail, you fail. So it's just a fact of life. It is what it is. But those who succeed are those who do not give up when they fail. They keep going and they build a successful life and a legacy. And number 9, don't ever stop in your pursuit of a legacy. Many people have accomplished tremendous things later in life. There's never a time to stop in your pursuit of a legacy. Sometimes an older person will say, I'm 65, I'll never change. I've heard that a lot. I've heard that with my Avon reps. Oh, I'm 70, I'm not going to change. That won't build a great life, though. Guys, that's not going to build your life, and you still have time. So there's always time to do more and achieve more and to help more and to serve more and to teach more and to learn more. Keep growing and growing that legacy. So those are the core principles from Jim Rohn about how to live a legacy. Like I said, he's just amazing. He just has some amazing ideas, and I don't think I've ever heard a thing from him that hasn't touched my life. So get back down below. Tell me what what do you think? What do you think is a trait or a principle that can help leave a legacy? Or what did you like best about the ones that I did talk about? Get below and tell me about them, okay? I would love to hear it. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for being here with me. Hope you have a great day.